Which comics did I pick up this week? Well, you're just going to have to sit tight and watch Spider Slayer's Comic Book Haul, episode 326. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do Spider Slayer's Comic Book Haul, episode 326, or number 326. This is the video series where each and every week I show you, the fans, which comics I picked up at the comic book store. Now, while you're watching this video, don't forget to put in the comments below which books you picked up this week. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, so let's get started now, shall we? Alright, first things first, black bag. And when we take the books out of the black bag, we have something else with the books this week, right? Right here, boom. Alright, so first things first, we wound up getting this spotlight of Fantastic Four. And it looks like it has a little bit of a preview of what's to come for Dan Slott's Fantastic Four. And it looks like it's got some other things going on in here, like Infinity Wars and Mr. and Mrs. X. So there's a lot of cool things in here and a lot of good material for the background to change up once again. Infinity Wars mashups we get to see in there as well. Extermination. So hopefully you guys can go to the comic shop and pick this one up for free. Asgardians of the Galaxy. And on the back you get to see Spider-Geddon. So that's on there as well too. So check that out. It's for free. So pick it up, guys. Alright. Next I wound up getting these Marvel Avengers. These are these nano metal figures. So it has all the Avengers on there. So it's got Captain America, Iron Man, Hulkbuster, and it's got like Ant-Man and Falcon and Loki. So it has all those characters in there. And I have a few of the Spider-Man ones. So I was like, hey, why not? Let's get these guys. I can put them on display on my little shelf over there. So I thought that was a cool pickup. Alright, so now let's get into the comic books, okay? For me, not a huge week. I think I have like 10 comic books here, and one was from last week, okay? So, first things first, I picked up the second issue of Magic Order. This is issue number 2. This is a beautiful cover. At first, I had the other cover, and then they had this one, and so I was like, oh, this cover's much better. You know, it's much more dark and magical looking, right? The first issue had a ton of mystery. You got introduced to this family of magicians and whatnot. So this is a really dark book in the very beginning, right from the start. I guess in this issue we're going to get introduced to more of the family. The artwork is beautiful in this book as well by Oliver Coipel. I'm so looking forward to going further in this series to see how these characters develop and what's the long-term effects of this book and whatnot. So this is Magic Order issue 2, okay? For whatever reason, if there's any copies of this, of the first issue, you might want to pick it up. But they said they were not reprinting this, so pick that up. Alright, next, another independent book. It's been off for a little while, but it's back now. And this is issue 5 of The Ice Cream Man. Pretty dark cover, right? I mean, what kind of comic book do you want to pick up where you see a skyscraper? Oh, and look, there's a guy that's committing suicide. That's pleasant. Right? So I'm very interested to see what's going on in the Ice Cream Man story. Right from the start, it opens up, and you get to see the guys fall from the sky. It's like, oh, okay. And I don't know if they noticed him falling from back there or what, but I don't know, but it's pretty gross, guys. There's a guy with his intestines hanging out and stuff, so really interesting. But I like the story of the Ice Cream Man. I love the stories that he brings, and another dark comic book. I don't know, is there something wrong with me? So Ice Cream Man issue 5. Alright, next, another independent from Image. This is The Weatherman. This is issue 2. Last issue we get to see how basically everybody moved to Mars, and there was obviously this catastrophic event where the Earth died, and our main character, I think his name was Nathan, he's held responsible for what was going on, and he was arrested here. So hopefully we get to see what happens in The Weatherman. Like, how did things happen? How did they become to the point that they are now? We get to see this this relationship between the which is supposedly the bad guy and the cop and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. And when we're done with that first issue, you're like, wow, I have a lot of questions. So let's see if those questions at all get answered going forward in the second issue. So Weatherman issue number 2. All right, next. No more independence, I don't think. We have X-Men Gold issue number 32, as this continues the story of Rachel Gray as she's being controlled by that evil mutant. I forgot what his name is. Mesmero, I think that's what it is. And she saw different thoughts, and this had to deal right after with the whole wedding situation. And so, I think a lot of people anticipating what's going on with Rachel's story at this point in time, because she's been changing a little bit each time. Her personality's been going south. But pretty cool artwork in this particular issue. We get to see Stormbringer, and we get to see Sentinels in this book. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun book here. So let's see what happens here. So X-Men Gold issue 32. And remember, this book is coming to an end soon. All right, next. What does Dan Slott have in store for Tony Stark Iron Man, the second issue here? The first issue was kind of like, screw continuity, Tony Stark is kind of like this now. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, this is the way Dan Slott's going to write Iron Man, and that's kind of how it was. So we get introduced to Tony Stark in the last issue. He's got this huge business once again. He's got Jocasta back. He's got a whole slew of employees. He's got a ton of armor. MJ was in no spot to be found in this book, but all of a sudden Nick Spencer brings her back in Amazing Spider-Man, which I thought was quite funny. Really interested to see what the same thing here. New series, what the long-term goal is for Dan Slott and Tony Stark. What's he going to do here for the character? How is he going to make this, character grow? Hopefully he'll stay true to the character, make the character fun, and we'll see what happens here. So this is Tony Stark, Iron Man, issue number 2. Next, Old Man Hawkeye, issue 7. He's on the ground. It looks like he's just trying to escape death in this cover. That's a pretty awesome cover here. We have the Venoms that have been chasing him, or the multiple man Venoms that have been chasing him. He got in contact with Katie Bishop. Lots of stuff going on in this issue, it looks like, already, right from the start. Here we get to see Thor. But this is a flashback of, obviously, of what happened in the past. So here we get to see when all the Avengers and everybody fighting, I guess before the Earth was about to crumble under the reign of Red Skull or whatnot. So there's some pretty serious stuff going on in here. So I'm interested to see what this issue has to offer. It looks like, again, a flashback issue of what happened to our heroes back in the day. So this is Old Man Hawkeye, issue 7. Really good book. Next, Infinity Countdown, issue number 5. Honestly, not a huge fan of Infinity Countdown. I couldn't tell you half the shit that goes on in this book. But I've been just reading it just to get an idea. I've liked the tie-ins better than the main story. I don't like the artwork, really, in my opinion. For me, the story is just here. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I just don't like the art. The art takes me really out of this book. I think it's just been going on a long time than it's needed to. That's what I can say. It's a big back and forth, obviously, with like time travel and all this other nonsense, but I haven't really enjoyed it. It's felt like more like a Guardians book in many ways than it has an actual like Infinity book, in my opinion. So Infinity Countdown, issue 5. I'm not going to recommend that one. Alright, next is a book from last week. They ran out of this book last week at my shop, and somehow there was a copy on the shelf. And this was a big hoopla about this issue that it sold out so quickly because of the new armor from Ironheart, and Amadeus Cho is known as Braun, and so this was a new status quo for these characters in a way, and so this was driving the book's value up on eBay. So that's why these books sold out last week. Here we get to see Ironheart's costume. We get to see what she looks like. And it also says Sam Alexander is Nova no more. So I think I'm going to start reading Champions again because I've heard nothing but great things about it. And Jim Zub is the one that's writing it. So I'm happy I was able to find a copy of this book. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about at this point in time. So Champions, issue number 22. Excuse me. Next, Immortal Hulk, issue 3. I love Immortal Hulk. I love the stories here. They've been very dark. We get to see what the Hulk is all about, how smart he is, how he's just willing to just torture people when they do things wrong. Now it's getting to the time, though, where I want the story to go is I want some direction in it. I want to see what's going to happen with Bruce, what's going to happen with the Hulk, and what is happening with this artwork. Is this just a scene of what's happening? What's happening? What am I reading here? What's changing? Okay. It's back to normal. I was like just floored for a second. I didn't know what to think of. Yeah, there's obviously something going on here with Immortal Hulk. But again, I want some character development. There's all kinds of crazy artwork in here. I don't know what to think of it. I want character development. I want to see where he's going to go. I want a supporting cast. I just don't want one-shots. Nevertheless, how fun those stories are. So, Immortal Hulk, issue 3. Alright, next. Speaking of Hulk-like book, Damage, issue 7. It says, damned if he do, damage if he don't. So, last issue, I think we got to see Gorilla Grodd facing Damage, and Poison Ivy let him go. I guess hopefully we get to see more backstory of our character. Cool. One page pinup page here. That's pretty neat. But same thing like Damage. I want to see more character development. I want to see more of our character growth in here. Just not him fighting bad guys every week. You know, and that's pretty much how Damage has been for the most part. It's a pretty book to look at. There's always lots of action. There's these bounty hunters that are going after him to try to recover him because obviously he's an experiment that has to do with the military. So we'll see where this story goes. So this is Damage issue 7. Alright. Next. Batman issue 51. Tom King. This is the B cover for this one. So how does Bruce move on from the whole Catwoman situation since she skipped town? Okay. Here in this book, it looks like there's a trial going on when I open it up. So there's something going on. It looks like maybe Bruce is part of the jury in here. It doesn't look like he's dealing with his emotions yet when it comes to Catwoman and the loss of her at this moment in time. So this might look like kind of a filler story arc or whatnot, but nevertheless, it just looks like Bruce Wayne's on trial. So we'll see what happens. So this is Batman, issue 51. Alright, and last but not least, guys, we have the newest Captain Marvel book. And I got the variant edition here, The Life of Captain Marvel. This is issue number 1. Okay. Really nice looking cover. Captain Marvel looks really nice. Get to see the Earth in the background there. We get to see like flames back there, or even like the font. I think it's pretty awesome as well. If you look at some of the interior artwork, we can get to see some like flashback artwork in here, and then you get to see what's going on in present day when Carol is fighting. So that's pretty neat too. I'm really curious to see how they dive into the history of Carol and how they tackle that. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So it's written by Margaret Stoll. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this issue. It's extra sized and it's $4.99 price point. So The Life of Captain Marvel issue 1. And there you have it, guys. There is the haul for this week. Like I said earlier, Don't forget to put the books you picked up this week, which ones you're most excited for. And as always, fans, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And fans, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.